and welcome to the Video Game Town Hall meeting. I'm your town crier, Grant Bruner, and just by listening, you've gained the title of Town Council member. Jared is out on assignment in the untamed wilds of Montana, so joining me today is my former colleague and longtime friend, Molly Bradley. How you doing, Molly?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am busy as hell. It has been we made a website. I don't know if you heard about it.
I did know about that, and I've been following the journey. Although I know I only know from talking to you how much work has gone in behind the scenes. But it's amazing. I'm extremely impressed. It's exciting.
It is exciting, and we've been having a good time. A stressful time, but a good time nonetheless. It's worth it's stress that's worth putting yourself through. Like you're making a cool thing that you can be proud of, but that doesn't make it not stressful.
Yeah, it really is. It's very annoying that it is true that so many things that are worthwhile and rewarding are things that are hard and uncomfortable. It really grinds my gears, to be honest.
So Molly, let's let people in on who you are, not just like your credentials and like who you are in work, but also like what's your gaming stuff. So let's start off with who are you, how do you know me, etc., etc.
Yeah, sounds good. So I'm Molly. I met you, Grant, trying to address the wider chat here, working at Dig. I started out as an editor there, was managing editor by the time I left, but worked very closely with you and got to know you really well, thanks to the magic of Slack. And now we're friends in real life since I left that position. And I've worked as an editor kind of broadly for much of my career in very different settings. I now work at a children's publisher, working on magazines for second graders, which is very fun. I also will take this opportunity to say that I have a poorly behaved cat who has been yelling down by my feet.
I can hear her. Give Saltine her due.
She is a beautiful sort of gremlin who she wasn't raised right. And I guess part of that is my fault, but part of it I really don't think is. She's lovely. She's my companion. And then in terms of my sort of gaming background, it's interesting. I am relatively new to gaming, I think, as things go. But
I guess, but you also have some childhood stuff that like you definitely present yourself as a newbie, but I think I think this is like the toxic masculinity, like devaluing your actual gaming history, which I think is not worth it's not something you should like brush off. Like you grew up playing like a point and click adventure games. Like those are video games.
That's very true. And I think I guess like when I was a kid, it seems so different from like I never had a video game like console outside of my computer, which that doesn't mean computer games aren't video games. They are, but I think at the time I thought of it as a divide from the people who had all these cool video games. You had the controller, you had these shooter games, you had like these just fantastic games I knew nothing about and was quite bad at whenever I dabbled kind of in my youth. But I played a lot of computer games growing up. Predictably, I played a lot of The Sims, but I played the King's Quest suite of games because of my mom. She introduced me and my sister to the very old game and surprising game for a mother to introduce to her children, Leisure Suit Larry. It was her copy was on a floppy disk. Didn't get very far, but it told me a lot, I think, about what the range of things that a game could be, and also told me a lot about my mother, which was delightful. But
that is quite a story about being introduced to Leisure Suit Larry by your mom.
I mean, to be clear, it wasn't. I wasn't super young. I wasn't particularly old either. But I think she just thought we would get a kick out of it, and showed us just enough for us to get the idea. But I had a kind of video game renaissance in around 2021. That was kind of where many people started baking during the pandemic. I guess my thing was becoming a gamer. And now I can proudly say I've torn through a ton of classics. I'm, checking out some new stuff. I've been, Dark Souls, Soulsborne, Pilled.
But it's Bloodborne above and beyond everything, right?
Above and beyond everything, although, like, Elden Ring will really suck you in. I'll tell you that right now. I think the number one learning about myself in all of this, too, is that I can get so mad at a video game, which is something that I used to think was so silly when people would get mad at games. And now I'm like, oh, I get it.
So much of what I do in video games is based around I don't spend a ton of time playing games that are the kind of games where you could get mad at them. Like they're
Yeah,
just
yeah.
it is this isn't like I'm also entirely willing to, which is obviously not applicable to Souls likes, but taking the difficulty down, which is that like it's something that I really picked up during the 360 and PS3 generation, which is when loads, if you died and you had to reload, those took like legitimately, it would be like it could be like 2 or 3 minutes to get you back, and I was like, oh, I never want to do that, and it's better now. Obviously, like drives are faster, yada yada yada. But like if I'm dying a lot, I'm like, oh, okay, crank that shit down. I don't need to deal with this.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's very wise, and I think it's like it's definitely steered some of how I approach games, or at least when I choose to approach them. Like at the end of the night, before going to bed, I'm not going to play something that's going to piss me off kind of royally. But I do, yeah, it's funny because I think like, well, for one, I'm glad I skipped the era of brutally long kind of
real
load.
bad, like really from the 90s where like they introduced the CD and you're no longer loading games off of like cartridges, and you're loading games off of super slow like 1x CD drives, kind of through the 360 PS3 generation is when things got really fucking bad. Like those were it was the loads were rough. And like there are still games that it's like you guys could do better if you wanted to. These loads could be better. Yeah. But even the worst offenders now on like something like a PS5 or whatever, a semi-modern PC, the loads are going to be way better.
Oh God, yeah. And I understand enough, like I'm techie enough and have dealt with enough similar issues, not strictly related to kind of to the games in that era, that I know that pain, but I'm so glad that I skipped it in this particular arena.
Sure.
Yeah. I do think it's funny though, as things have gotten faster, as always with technology, people's patience gets shorter. So it's, now it's very easy to, you turn on your phone and you're like, this app is frozen. Oh my God, what a disaster. And it's like, this is a miracle. The technology we have today is a miracle. And it's very easy to take it for granted.
For sure. And I think that like you came aboard, you really got the Switch is kind of what brought you in. And the Switch 1, which you're still on, right?
Oh, as if it's so old hat.
No, I'm just asking. You have not upgraded, right?
No, I was still on the Switch 1. I plan to get one at some point.
The Switch 1 actually has some of like the worst loads in recent memory because the CPU, because like, you're loading things off of the thing, and the CPU has to like chug on them, and it's a pretty low power, like as designed, intentionally so, but it is like an 8-year-old relatively low power processor, which means sometimes when it has to like chug along on some stuff, the loads on some Switch games can be really bad. Like obviously like the first party Nintendo stuff, like they're smart about that. They're going to hide that as much as possible because they like care about that. The user experience is like top of mind, and they have a bunch of resources to put into making that better and hiding the loads, things like that. But if you're just playing, random third-party game on the Switch 1, some of those loads are pretty fucking brutal.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's funny because there are places where I expect loads, and I think where I expect there to be a load, I have more patience for a slightly longer one, because I understand, like you described, the limitations of, the Switch 1 in particular, or whatever the console is in question. And I understand that there have to be those breaks sometimes, especially if it's a really, demanding game, just in terms of the power it takes and the detail that's in it. Here's what I can't get behind, though. I opened up Animal Crossing for the first time in probably about a year and a half. My island, everyone thought I was dead.
Rip.
Which is fine. Rip to me. I don't think there should have to be a loading screen when I go from one room in my house to the other room in my house. That's crazy. So I just stay out of the house.
Yeah, definitely. and mind you, you definitely didn't play Animal Crossing in like the GameCube era, which is like my Animal Crossing. That's the first time they brought it to the West. When you would go from one like chunk of land to another chunk of land, there would be a small transition. Like there would be like a whoop. In my brain, Animal Crossing on the GameCube is the best Animal Crossing that's ever existed. But you go back and you play it, and you're like, whoa, boy.
Oh, I don't know if I don't know if I would have the strength for that. Well, it's interesting because there are some ways in which, like, not a loading thing, but I expected, for instance, going back and playing Dark Souls 1, which I guess this is less a console thing, just like it's an age of the game kind of thing, and the mechanics that were possible at the time. It was so much jankier than I had been playing Bloodborne and Elden Ring, and I went back to Dark Souls 1, and I was like, what is this? Like, what is this? It just feels blocky and feels like awkward, and things are less precise in some ways because the graphics aren't great, and yeah, it's slow and clunky. But then again, I think that there are limitations sometimes that are a relief when you go back to old games. Because now it's like you jump to a modern game and the possibilities for, if it's a game where you're equipping weapons or you're like exploring a place or you've got a boss with like 800 billion crazy combos. I'm like, you know what? I actually liked when it was 3 moves and I knew what to do.
Yeah, I mean, I do understand it. Where I think, like, I this year played a lot of Clair Obscur Expedition 33, and so much of it is like your move sets for each of those characters are like semi unique, but then you also have you basically have like modifier things that you can spend resources on to equip on all of your characters. There's a lot to think about, and you have to do a lot of management, and it's just kind of like, like in the SNES era, a JRPG was still pretty complicated, but significantly less complicated than this. And mind you, yeah. I think it does a good job of like rolling it out, and you learn how to do it. And I think that overall it's a good addition to have, and I'm glad it's there. It adds depth to it, and like allows you to actually like configure your player characters how you want them to be, and you can you feel like a real difference between how you had it set up one way or how you had it set up another way. But yeah, there is during the learning curve period, like when you're still not sure how everything works, you're like, man, I sure do miss when things were simpler.
Yeah. You're like, here's my set character. He can do 4 things.
Slash.
And slash, jump,
stab,
move. Yeah. Stab.
Exactly. Yeah, no, definitely. So what have you been playing lately? Like, what is your most recent obsession?
Well, I have been playing Blueprints, this puzzle sort of. I know people have called it a roguelike game, and I think the idea of things being like, in this case, the rooms in this house, you generate them as you go.
You do
is the thing. Yeah, and you have runs. I will say it is the game that forced me to learn what it means when people call something roguelike, because I heard it applied to about 8 extremely different to my eyes games. And so I was finally like, okay, what does that mean? I told you I was playing this, and I want to hear more about your thoughts and feelings about it. I will say I am having sadness because I didn't realize the type of game it was immediately. I knew it was a puzzle game. I knew it was you're finding clues and you're putting together the pieces, but I think if I'd known going in that it was so detail oriented and so like
Pepe Sylvia.
Yes, yeah. If I knew that I was supposed to beat my head against the wall and like have it be a really slow burn, I would probably have approached it that way, and it would have been a little more rewarding. But too quickly, I was like, "Give me a hint for this thing," and I do think I spoiled the game a little bit for myself. I'm a little bit sad about that, and I'm not done. Like, there's so much. Oh God, there's so much to do. Every run, I'm like, oh my God, I have a laundry list of things to
too
like
much to
accomplish.
Do, you might say.
Too much to do. I mean, but for me, I never hate that, actually. I kind of just say, like, okay, here's my focus now. And then if something forces my focus elsewhere, I'm like, I guess we're doing that now. It's it's nice to just have unlimited runs to do that. But I kind of rushed one objective of the game by getting hints here and there. And part of me is like, okay, well, some of these I never would have figured out the puzzle in 100 million years. But then I'm like, well, what if I did? That could have been an opportunity for kind of challenging myself. And I think it's making me realize the extent to which I will be challenge avoidant if I don't believe in myself that I can do it. I love a challenge when it feels like, okay, I think I can get there.
I will say that I put like 6 hours in, which is not nothing. But obviously it's not nearly enough to like get anywhere close to like quote unquote beating it. And then I got some bad RNG and I was like, okay, I'm done. And also Clair Obscur is here now. So my friendship ended with Blueprints. Claire
Sorry,
Obscura is
obscure
my
is
new
my new
best
best
friend. Yes, yes. But then a beloved figure in games criticism, Austin Walker, and his friends have a podcast, and they did a kind of a spoiler cast and for Blueprints, and I did give it a listen. It was like 3 hours, and then listening to it, I'm like, okay, yeah, no,
Yep.
I wouldn't get a lot of this, and then I would look it up, and I would be like, what the fuck is this bullshit? What the
Yeah.
fuck is this bullshit? And so, like, hearing them talk about it, like, talk spoilers, I'm like, okay, I'm glad I stopped where I did. I'm good. This is not for me. This is clearly for other people, and Jared is who will be pissed that he was not here, but them's the breaks, Jared.
Bless.
Get better internet in Montana. But like I was just like, oh, okay, this seals the deal. Like learning more about like what I hadn't seen yet, like sealed the deal for me. I'm like, okay, I'm done. Like I'm not gonna like come back and try to like crawl my way forward. I'm just over it. I'm
That's
not
so
coming
funny.
back.
Yeah, well, and I think that's so cool to me that like people approach games so differently. Like that for you, like finding out more about it, you're like, oh, that affirms my decision. Like I don't actually want to put the time in for this or do this at all, or it's not enjoyable. Whereas for me, I was just like, oh man, I wish I'd approached this the right way. I would have literally committed like the however many hours per day to just stew in it. Because I remember that was how I have such fond memories of playing, and I mean, it was not nearly this complicated, but of playing King's Quest IV specifically was the first like big game that I played together with my mom and my sister. And when, when like I was out at a friend's house, my mom and sister might play a little bit. Mostly we played together. And I remember one day they came over to pick me up from a friend's, and they had made some big progress without me, and I was devastated. But it took us months, and it was such a rewarding thing in the end that we'd put our heads together and like puzzled it out for so long. Yeah, I am very into that experience. I think I need to know that that's the experience that I'm going into. But I'm a sucker for it. I love it.
People obviously really, really do love it. And I do have to shout out, I've done this every time Jared has brought up Blueprints, I have to. And I finally bullied him into playing it. But if you love puzzle games,
Yes,
the root trees are dead.
I played it.
Oh my god, what a game!
Blast.
What a
Well, because it was
game!
like, oh yeah, well, because I played Obra Dinn, and I
It's very Obra Dinn
love
adjacent.
exactly. Well, and so then what I was literally Googling games like Obra Dinn because I was just like, I want something like that to kind of, before I go to bed, like something that's it's not fast paced, it's not stressful, it's not combat, it's not going to piss me off. I want something that I can just feel like a little detective and dig into. And it gave me exactly that. It was so great.
I love that game. It is up there in my work in progress game of the year list. It is high up there. I love that game. It's like it's the kind of puzzle stuff that I like, and it's also the kind of storytelling I like, in that like it's very interpersonal. And so like I kind of have been on the record of like, and I think I've said directly to you that like lore is really hard for me. And I think that like the distinction between this is like everything you read about it doesn't in root trees doesn't feel like lore. It feels like you are getting like snippets of interpersonal relationships and like interactions from the past, which like you could lump that into lore if you wanted to, but it feels very different than like the king of the realm ordered 4 wizards.
I get that, and I think because I do know exactly what you mean. Like I actually enjoy lore of all stripes, but I do know what you mean. I think there's something very human and oddly more immediate about the digging around in the root trees. I think part of it might be that it's the tech angle of it. It's like when you're like digging into some news that you're interested in, like that's going on right now, and maybe it doesn't involve you or it isn't right this second. But yeah, that does make sense to me. And I was just gonna, because I was gonna say, how is it so different from Blueprints? But I think part of it too about Blueprints' lore is that you unwind these puzzles and you discover new rooms to get these pieces of lore, and rather than it being like, oh, here's a concrete snippet of story of history of someone's life, that you still have to put some pieces together and connect the dots, but you're like, oh, I got information. With Blueprints, you solve the puzzle, you get the lore, and the lore itself is a new puzzle. So I do understand how like that is dramatically different from something like the root trees.
It's also like everything. So I'm also like in real life, I'm like a genealogist. So a lot of the things I'm already very familiar with. Like everything about it, it's like it is built for like my brain in particular. spectacular. Like
Yeah.
it is it fits very well, and then it's also like the way that you like the puzzles are organized and how you like expand and like built into the idea of a family tree is that like because they like
Yeah.
branch, it just like the mental model of a family tree as like these nodes I need to research works so well for me, whereas something like Blueprints is so unwieldy and massive, and like you literally have to have a like a notebook or something, some way to contain things with Blueprints. And like not to say that a notebook like couldn't help you with root trees are dead, but like it's contained enough that you could get by and just be like, oh, what was that? Let me quick move over and check this. Okay, that's what it was. Whereas like Blueprints, there's just way too many moving parts.
Yeah, I will say, I mean, in the root trees anyway, they give you that sort of virtual notebook that you can copy and paste stuff, which is great too,
definitely.
which makes it super easy. Yeah, I have hundreds probably at this point of screenshots from Blueprints because I am too lazy to. I love a notebook, but I was like, we're just screenshotting this so I don't have to like figure out what details are super important to include or not. I will say, yeah, I do. When it comes to Blueprints, and I don't know if I should spoiler warning this, it's not going to be very specific information because I personally still have no idea what's going on with this aspect of it. I understand we're not on Earth, or this version of it. I understand we've got realms. I understand the general nature of the political stuff. Well, do I? I'm not sure. I cannot bring myself to get interested enough to parse like the different, what are these countries question mark? Like what's involved and who belongs to what? I absolutely could easily if I wanted to, but that part, I just am interested in. Yeah, you're right. I'm interested in the interpersonal element of it, like this author who was, writing her books and leaving these clues and then this and then that. I'm not labeling that map I found in the classroom. I'm so sorry. I don't care. I'm sorry.
Definitely. And like to be clear, like there are parts of that game that it's kind of like a walking sim. Like you're walking around and like you're finding details in a house, and like that part's cool. But that is like the way you interface with it. But then the back end is just the Pepe Sylvia just 8 billion strings going everywhere.
Yeah, it's true. And I think like I will say that to me that at least for the parts of the lore I do care about, it makes a nice kind of counterbalance. But oh gosh, what was I going to say? There's something you were saying about the walking
sim,
the walking of it all.
Yeah, you're walking around the house. That's how you the way you interface with the game is like something like a Gone Home or whatever, where you're walking from room to room, and you're like, okay, well, there's this thing. Okay, here's a note, and it says for this. Okay, write that the fuck down. Except that there's just so much more stuff, and then the other like thing that is overwhelming to me but exciting to other people is you look around and like the stuff that's hanging on the wall, and you're just like, okay, I get it.
Like,
There's something here. There's a letter difference between them. I know that there's a puzzle here, but I don't know what it means, and that's frustrating.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And I will say I don't like, because the definition of what a puzzle is in this game is so broad, I do find that a little less satisfying, because it's like, oh, I didn't even know this, XYZ was a puzzle to be solved, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, I think what I like best I like walking around the house for sure. I like, oh God, I love making a complete house map with every square filled. That's satisfying and not easy. I love puzzles like getting the pump room powered and like figuring out how to get the water in and out of different places. That's a very satisfying sort of mechanical spatial puzzle to me. And it also, I will say, it reminds me of something very specific. And I don't think I've ever asked you this before. Did you ever play a game called, what even was it called? It was like Dr. Quandary's Island or something like that.
Sound familiar?
Okay, the only person I know who might have played it or something similar is Cole, is my husband. But his was called something else. But I would not be surprised if this was some just random janky game that was like, I don't know, floating
like Myst?
It's not like it is not nearly
the secret island of Dr. Quandary.
That's it.
But I'm looking. If you go to the Wikipedia page for the secret island of Dr. Quandary, you're going to see some fucking box art, you guys. Holy shit!
The weirdest game. To this day, I think I like fever dreamed half of it. There was some weird stuff going on in there, but there were some. It was not nearly as as challenging as anything like, Mist or Blueprints, but it had some satisfying kind of, like moving things around to make space for this or that, or God, I think I'd be scared to revisit it today, to be honest.
And so this is actually, that was developed by MECC, which are the Oregon Trail people, which is
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like that was started by like the Minnesota legislature, like was like, we should make a thing to make educational software, and then whatever, it later spun off and became a
Oh, okay.
company. But
It did
like,
not educate me.
no, but like that's it's that same people, the people who made Oregon Trail or the same company.
I did not realize that.
I don't know if it's the same team.
It's distinctly weirder than that.
Yeah.
A lot of weird little creatures. Anyway, there were a couple things that reminded me, that kind of took me back to that, rightly or not. So I needed to ask you, because it's a game that there's like two games that I still have never met anyone else who played them organically as a kid. And that's one. And the other one is, it's a Sierra game. It's The Colonel's Bequest. I know people have played it, but nobody I know.
No, I was fully LucasArts. As a child, I didn't, right. I never dipped my toes into the Sierra games.
I know, it's so funny how I feel like my husband was the same way, where he was a LucasArts guy. He played a little bit of King's Quest, but it wasn't not nearly to the extent that he played LucasArts games, and he played all the LucasArts games.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Like it was like every single one I could get my hands on.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Disability Pride Month. July, for those of you that don't know, Disability Pride Month is the entire month of July. I want to talk about some stuff, and just a little bit of what we've been covering on the site, and then also other resources for people who have various forms of disability. So one of the things that I want to talk about is I wrote an article. It's called "I Was Wrong About Joy-Cons." Part of that is talking about my experience with repetitive stress injuries in my wrists. In 2017, when they shipped the first Switch, I made some faces about the Joy-Cons, where I was just like, keep those controls attached to it, to the Switch body, and then ship it with a real controller. And don't get me wrong, I still prefer, like, if my Switch stuff is docked, I'm still using my 8-bit Do Pro 2 controller. However, playing portable, I have this problem with my Steam Deck, which is that it's a heavy little machine, and it makes my fingers numb if I play it too long. And so with the Switch and Switch 2, the nice thing about it is you can prop it up on your desk as like the built-in kickstand, and then you can control it using a controller that's you can detach from the thing, and then I can play it portably and not have my fingers go numb. So I was like, okay, I was wrong in this one particular way. That's actually really useful from a accessibility perspective. Good job. There's a bunch of other problems with the Joy-Cons, but in this one particular way, it's great. The other thing that for me that affects like me personally is I have eye strain. I get really bad eye strain the more I stare at a screen, and unfortunately, my jobs require me to stare at screens all day. So when I stare at screens all day, I get a bunch of eye strain, and so when games require a lot of reading, I find them difficult to play at the end of the day. Like my eyes, reading this text hurts my eyes. And so one good example, so before I give the example, I have to do the setup. This is a game that is now owned by Microsoft. Microsoft is under boycott by BDS because of their involvement with the IDF and the genocide in Gaza. Don't give money to Microsoft. Okay. Pentiment is a game developed by Obsidian, which is owned by Microsoft. Yeah, it is heavily text-based. It's a wonderful game. I love it to death. But one of the things about it that I really appreciate from an accessibility perspective and a non-AI perspective is that it is a text-based game, or a game that is heavily text. It obviously has graphics. It's not a prompt, a command prompt, but like you're reading a lot of text in the game, and it has the ability to use very simple, basic text-to-speech. It is not using not using generative AI to like replace voice actors. That's not what it's doing. It is solely just saying it in like a regular, one singular voice, reading the text in a standard, like non-performative way, just so that you can have the accessibility of hearing it said out loud instead of reading the text. I find that to be the perfect solution. It is in no way an attempt to sidestep paying voice actors. You should pay voice actors. If you are having a game with that is voiced, pay voice actors. You have a game that is text heavy, have an accessibility text-to-speech option.
Yeah, that's great. Because that's something I think about sometimes. You play a voiced game and everything's being spoken out loud, and that's, sometimes you skip through it if you're like, I would rather read, whatever. But I miss it often when then I come to something that doesn't have that. And obviously, I can make use of it. I can read or listen. I can, I'm lucky to do both those things. But you start to kind of think like, well, why isn't there that option for so many games that don't have voice acting? So I appreciate that enormously. And that sounds like well implemented as well.
Definitely. And then there's also like things in games where there's an increasing amount of not just accessibility options in the game, like for the person playing the game, but also representation of disabled bodies in like character creators. So like the most recent Saints Row did that. I know that the Forza Horizon games, which again, Microsoft, don't give Microsoft money, they have limb differences, stuff like that built in. So like that's also good. The things that I wanted to call out specifically in the real world are Able Gamers, which is a decades of doing the real hard advocacy work and helping people who have disabilities play games and working with developers to make their games more accessible to people with disabilities, and also like working with third-party device manufacturers to make things that are specifically for people with a variety of disabilities. When you say disability, it means like a lot of things, because it can mean physical disabilities, and it can mean something as simple as like my stuff where I have numbness, so I have like time limited, in certain scenarios I don't really want to play more than like 45 minutes an hour at a time, or something like where it's like, oh well, I have like partial paralysis, so like I don't have the ability to do like the fine motor movements, things like that. But it can also be things like some people have disabilities that are like, how do I process language? So there are accessibility options for that. So ablegamers.org, they've been doing incredible work for decades. Great group of people. The other great resource is a website called caniplaythat.com, and they review games specifically from the lens of how accessible is it for people with disabilities in various ways. So it's like, okay, well, I know that I'm a deaf person. I want to play this game. Am I going to be able to like get the full experience playing it without the ability to like hear the dialogue or whatever, or like the barks that let me know somebody's around the corner, things like that? Does it have like something like Last of Us has things where like if you enable it, like, oh, okay, I'm deaf, it will have like visual indications on the screen to say like, oh, you hear something, like somebody who was hearing would hear this coming from the right, but because you've turned this on, you can see it on the screen, things like that. So caniplaythat.com, incredible work, fantastic. If you have any sort of disability, or people who have some sort of disability and love games, definitely go and try out caniplaythat.com.
Yeah, that I was checking that website out, and that's an amazing resource. I like the simplicity of that too, just the way it runs down the games. I will say, what's one game I was surprised to find has what I think is quite a good, very simple and probably not completely sufficient for like certainly the mechanical gameplay, but the visual audio cues that you can turn on in Fortnite are quite good, actually. They give you kind of directional things and different icons for what it is you're hearing. Kind of remarkable. I was really surprised, honestly.
That's good to hear. Also, it's good to mention that you got Fortnite pilled.
I got a little Fortnite pilled, but I go off it when I get too mad about all the can't believe I'm a person who is saying this, about all the non-gun not weapons, like crazy moves that people use in the game. They're like, now I'm on a flying carpet and dropping an atomic bomb on your head. I'm like, that's not why I play this game.
I'm there to pwn noobs with my AK. Brap, brap. Let's now play a game. I'm calling this game Code Name and Shame. The premise of this game is I'm going to give you names of Animal Crossing villagers or Secret Service code names. Oh. And you have to tell me, is this name someone in Animal Crossing New Horizons? An animal in there, and then if it is an animal, I would like you to tell me what kind of animal it is, or if this is a name given to like the president or vice president and their family by the Secret Service. The third option, is it both? Is it both a Secret Service code name and a New Horizons villager.
Okay, that actually, this is throwing a wrench already in how I'm thinking about this. First of all, this is an amazing game premise. I'm so excited. I've never gotten to play a game, one of these types of games where I get to decide what is what based on having very limited information. Because despite playing Animal Crossing a little bit, I don't really care about my villagers. I just go around picking cherries and selling them.
Wow, villagers found dead in a ditch.
I'm sorry. Listen, I got stuff to do. I'm a busy girl, okay?
Isabelle crying her fucking eyes out.
Oh, I love her though. We chat. She's cool.
Also, we found out while we were recording something else, we found out that Isabelle is labeled in Wikipedia, because we were doing Pride Month content, in like the LGBTQ character list in Wikipedia. They list Isabelle as canonically bi because because she expresses like a crush on the player regardless of their expressed gender identity.
Wait, okay. Wait. I love that, but now it's like, okay, so it's not personal. So you would like anybody who was running your island. This is like an authority fetishization.
Well,
okay,
it's also something that sometimes people, especially in queer communities, will call player sexual, which is that like, oh, you don't actually have, like, the people who made this game didn't write this character to be like gay or bi or straight or pan or whatever. They're just made it to be horny for whoever's playing the game.
Well, listen, I guess it means maybe one way to read that is that she is whatever it makes her, depending on who you are in the moment. There's a million Isabelles on all these islands, and
there's always a dog, an island, a watchtower. Let's start things off. Rover.
Oh God, that's both.
It's a good starting thing. It is not. It is the Secret Service code name for. Do you want to guess who that was?
Oh God, no, but I'll try to guess future ones.
Eleanor Roosevelt. Everybody knows. Good old Eleanor Roosevelt. Rover.
Okay, I'm glad that's not who I guessed, because that's not who I would have guessed. All right, let's
Sahara.
Go.
Is Sahara an Animal Crossing villager, a Secret Service code name, or both?
Okay, I'm pretty sure Sahara is an Animal Crossing entity. I feel like I've...
Sahara is a Secret Service. Every time because I have abbreviated this in my notes as SSCN, and I want to say Social Security every single time. Secret Service code name for, can you guess? It's a president. It's not one of their family. I'm sorry, it's not a president. It's a son of a president.
Oh, I'm scared. No, just tell me.
David Eisenhower. Sahara.
Why was he? I don't like that.
Derby.
I feel like I'm gonna get all these wrong. Oh God. I mean that feels like a code name.
It is a code name. Do you want to guess who it is?
Someone who liked horses. God. I don't know enough about presidents to make informed guesses.
Jack Carter.
I've a million years when I said that. All right, love it. Love that for him.
Apollo. Perhaps the most challenging one yet.
I'm gonna go with both.
Big ding ding ding, you got it. It is the code name for Liz Cheney.
What? Why does she Apollo?
I don't know why, but it is also an Animal Crossing New Horizons villager. Can you tell me what species Apollo is?
Penguin.
It's a good guess, but it is an eagle.
Okay, well, I had the bird right.
It is a bird.
That it was a bird. Insofar as a penguin is a bird. Wow, I actually am really proud of myself for getting this one right. Liz Cheney?
Yeah, Liz Cheney. Apollo.
All right. I should stop demanding justification for why they were named these things. Because you know what? I probably wouldn't even care to know why.
Yeah, well, the other thing is that they like to do like letter themes. So they'll pick the name for the president or vice president or whatever, and then their family is just also that letter.
That's good to know. So you can kind of build out the web from there if you get a few. Yes. All right.
Usually, I want to say that there's like a handful of exemptions, but like most of the time, that's how it works.
Now, do they choose their own name? Oh,
no,
sorry.
I think it is the Secret Service is doing it.
Oh, so if they really hated someone, they could just be like
Bimbo.
Oh, this guy's Bimbo.
Dumbass.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure the
precisely.
president would be pretty mad if you gave him the nickname Dumbass.
Dumbass incoming. The
Yeah, I'm
dumbass is
pretty
safe.
sure that the president, especially the one we have, would do some extrajudicial killing.
Well, honestly,
Um,
he should be in there making the names because he's good at that. We know that. All right.
Capri.
Capri. That is an agent, a code name.
It is a code name. It's a code name for a first lady.
Oh, Hillary Clinton.
Jill Biden. Delaware's
I was
own.
temporally. All right.
Aurora.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that's an Animal Crossing character.
It is an Animal Crossing character or a villager. What species is Aurora?
Okay, I don't think this is right, but camel?
Good guess, but it is a penguin. Unfortunately, that is the thing you
Damn
guessed
it.
for Apollo.
Damn. All right. Well, I'm barking up the right trees at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Or the wrong. Yeah. Okay.
Blue Bear.
Blue bear. That is a bad code name.
It is a New Horizons villager. Would you like to guess the species?
If it's not a goddamn bear,
It is a literal blue bear named Blue Bear.
oh my god. All right, good. Well, good. I mean, I would have been honestly quite peeved if it was not a bear at all.
Pac-Man.
Oh, that's got to be a code name.
It is a code name for Jack Ford.
Okay. He gets the coolest name of all time.
It is unfortunately not spelled like the Namco character. It is spelled Packman, not
Okay, then that's
Pac,
not-
hyphen man.
Yeah. Okay, not cool then. I take it back.
Less cool.
That's
It's
cool.
like he really loves suitcases.
Oh god. Yeah, why would they be cool enough to name him after Pac-Man? Ugh. Okay.
Yeah, Coppertone.
Bertone. Ugh. This is like a code name for someone with red hair or something terrible.
It's a good guess. That's like you're definitely on the right track. It is the code name for Rose Kennedy, the Mama Kennedy.
Okay, I like that with Rose. I get it. I see it.
I see you, random Secret Service person.
I see you, Secret Service member who named Rose Kennedy. I see you.
Sprocket.
Sprocket. My gut feeling is that it's definitely a code name. Part of me wants to go get a little crazy with it and say both, but I don't really think there's a Sprocket on Animal Crossing Island, is there?
Unfortunately, it is a villager. Would you like
Damn.
to guess the species? I don't think you're going to get it.
It's a penguin again. No, wait, let me guess for real. Is it a real animal?
Yes, it is based off of a real animal. So you could name the species and I would give it to you. There is a modifier in the answer, but if you just got the species, then I would say yes, you got it.
Damn. I'm kind of feeling like it probably doesn't have any relation to the name. I don't know. Some kind of monkey?
It's a decent guess. It is a robo-ostrich.
That was not a decent guess then.
But
Okay,
not. It's a decent guess in what the like the actual answer is like if you're like going backwards to the name Sprocket. I think that like going to monkey is like not a bad. It's not a bad guess. Like obviously,
I agree with that.
Victoria.
Oh, that's an Animal Crossing. Ooh, is it also a code name? It's definitely Animal Crossing, I'll tell you that. Because I think Victoria was pretty pissed at me when I came back after a year and a half.
So what's your answer?
Unless I'm remembering. Both.
It is both. You did
Yoo-hoo!
it. It is the code name for Lady Bird Johnson, and it is a villager in New Horizons. Do you know the species of the villager?
Not a cat.
No, it's a horse.
God damn it. All right, okay, then actually, you know what? I did not run into Victoria, unless this horse is like the same size and shape as all the other creatures.
I mean, it's the same height, certainly.
Okay, let me be honest. I don't pay that much attention to my villagers when I run into them. I do the perfunctory chat and I'm on my way.
Get fucked, Victoria.
Sorry, Victoria.
Sunnyside.
Sunnyside. That is a code name.
That is a code name for Bess Truman.
Good for her.
We have 3 more left.
This is awesome. I love this game.
Tipper.
It's code name for Tipper Gore? Probably not. Let's say Animal Crossing.
It is an Animal Crossing. It's exactly the reason why I picked it, because of Tipper Gore. I figured that it would be a thing to throw you off. I think that the species is very funny with the name.
Ooh, I mean, immediately, very simplistically, I'm like, what's a tall animal you can tip over? But I don't know that that's the right approach here. Giraffe.
Cow.
Oh no!
It's a good joke.
All right, that's good. That's pretty good.
It's a good joke. Also, I wonder like how that works. It's probably like in the original Japanese, it's probably named something entirely different because I don't think cow tipping is a
Is like in Japan?
yeah. Well, yeah, because it's not like a thing. Like it's not a like it's a cultural like quirk. Like it's like a fairy tale in America, but it's not like a thing across culture.
It would be funny though if like in every culture there was a kind of like semi-urban myth about tipping cows over.
Yeah.
That would be beautiful.
Yeah, poetry. Rocket.
Rocket. Oh, both?
Nope. It does seem like something that would be a name, which is kind of the premise of the game. It is a villager. Do you know the species of rocket?
Oh man. Is Rocket a cat?
Nope. It is a
Damn.
gorilla.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. Sure. I will say I was leaning, if I was going to lean to one side, I was leaning more Animal Crossing Villager because it feels like you can't give someone a codename Rocket and then someone else is like, Spring Sprong. Like, Rocket is cool. It's too strong.
I unfortunately think that is kind of how their codenames work, because some of them are like Rip Roar, and some of them are like, oh, Floppy.
Unbelievable. Of course that is how it works.
The last one. Can you get it? Poppy.
Poppy. Gotta be both.
It should be both. Unfortunately, it is a New Horizons villager. Can you guess the species?
Oh, it's definitely an animal.
It is definitely an animal.
I was like, maybe this is some other sort of sentient object. Which is not really a thing in that game. Oh God, Poppy.
Well.
Oh, Poppy. Is this one a cat?
No, sadly, no. It is a squirrel. Poppy the squirrel.
Okay. I'm sorry that I just guessed cat for the last, 4.
It's okay. You love cats.
And I know one of them is a cat. Somebody on my island
There
is
are
a cat.
cats. There are definitely cats. There are numerous cats.
Okay, so I wasn't crazy.
I also encourage you to go on like Nookopedia, which is the hilarious name for the Animal Crossing wiki, and go to like the list of villagers in like New Horizons, and there are so many more than you would think. There's just so many villagers that you would be like, what are there, like 25? And it's like, no, it's significantly more than that. 400.
I mean, I know I'll be surprised, but I'm not surprised that I will be surprised, if you know what I mean. Just because sometimes whenever I see anyone else talking about this game, anyone who's like, put more time into it, the craziest stuff seems to be going on if you actually stick with the game, which I'm kind of a dip in and out kind of person, but it is bananas. However, everyone's all, oh, like Tom Nook is, shaking you down for money. He's like your landlord, whatever. Getting those bells is easy. You just wander around the island day in, day out. You collect your fruits. Visit someone else's island, collect their fruits. You can be making zillions. I never have money problems on my island, I'll tell you that much.
Money is easy to come by. It's only like the top level of that game. The real Animal Crossing starts here
with the million villagers.
Yeah, well, yeah, but lots of villagers, but also it's like you're now. I mean, because first, like in the early Animal Crossing games, it was all about like I'm about to use a very 2000s era term, pimping your house.
Right.
And now it's like, well, now you can just do fucking full on like remodel your whole goddamn island.
I will say I only recently got the thing where you can visit other people's like dream versions of their islands, or like their memory of the island. I saw some of what is possible, and that was astounding, frankly. I don't know if it's ever going to be me, but
yeah, I'm looking forward to whatever they do next with Animal Crossing, and I hope they go further. Like, I don't want just like it's the core Animal Crossing game you've already experienced with a handful of expansions, a handful of like, oh well, now the fruit, like in this one, like, oh, the fruit stacks, that's cool,
right,
but like I would like them to do like a fundamental rethinking of some of that stuff, and like not to say like you get rid of everything that works in Animal Crossing, but like give me like, okay, what is next, what can you do?
Yeah, I bet they will, because I feel it seems like from version to version they have done some pretty significant overhauls. And I think I imagine they know that that's what they would need to like have another big kind of splash.
They definitely should. Also, they're like, can we get another pandemic around here? Because that was awesome for us. Everybody just stayed home and played Animal Crossing, and that was really great for our bottom line.
I know Zoom is like, what could we introduce to the atmosphere right now?
What if we just started coughing really hard?
Yeah, what if we said masks are bad?
Jesus. Molly, where can people find you on the internet?
Oh, they could certainly try. No, I'm on, I will say, I would call it Twitter, but you can find me on X, the Everything app. Still, I don't really tweet, but at Molly Gwynn, MollYguinn. And yeah, I actually am not very much around the internet these days, but you can also, if you have a second grader, if their teacher signs up for Storyworks 2, you can read stories by me in the magazine, the fiction and nonfiction magazine that helps kids with reading skills. So you can find me there.
Definitely, please do go and support your local Molly. Talking about what we're doing, when you're hearing this, we will have already streamed Lego Island, the classic 1990s open world game that I love. That will be up on our YouTube. When you're hearing this later this week, we will be streaming us playing Donkey Kong Bonanza on the Switch 2. Very exciting. You can go to twitch.tv/videogametown. We're on YouTube, Video Game Town. We're on Blue Sky. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. You can find all of that at videogame.town, and definitely check in. We're doing something every day of the week you could rate and review. That would be wonderful. 5 stars, everybody. Come on, 5 stars. And thank you all for joining us. Molly, we now would like to grant you the title, an honorable town council member.
Oh, thank you very much. I am genuinely very honored by that, and it's such a pleasure to bear that title. But just to be here, but what code name would you give me if you could?
Salty.
Let's go. Sounds about right.
Thank you all, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.